Thank you so much for joining in the meditation. Very comforting today. That's really beautiful. So it's great that that is happening. And thank you for your part in it. You have no idea. It's like so great that we do this together, like in this moment that we come together to meditate. We have a single purpose, and that's to remember. You know, that has such an incredible, say, healing power. So I love to feel that and to undergo that. So, and I'm really very happy that you're part of it, that you decide to join in this. That's so wonderful. So thank you for your light and for your love. That's really beautiful. Thank you. So today the tape 357A or B, one or the other, and the tape with the title I, it's for sure the shortest title Joel gave one of his videos, and so and that's great. I loved to listen to the tape, especially at the end. It is really beautiful what Joel shares. We will listen also to the second part of the tape. So if you want to listen to more, you can always listen all of it on the EV Hub channel on YouTube. But so today we focus on the I, but it seems like, well, where do you start? Like we just read from the mystical I. The mystical I doesn't sound too clear in the first sense either. When you first hear that word, the mystical I is a bit like mysterious almost. Like, what is this I? What is this I? And so the mysterious part is then maybe, or the misty part, is like coming from a human frame of reference. It would be very difficult to find, just because it is not part of the human frame of reference, only as a concept. See, and that makes it, say, hard to work with. And I is not a concept. So that there you have your conflict. So now it's like, okay, you're in your bubble of human frame of reference, your bubble of associative thinking, like, oh yeah, I know what this is glass, these are glasses, and I can put them on and I can actually read what is being said. Sure, you know these things. It's like the associative thinking is easy. You grew up with it. So it's like, that's an apple, everything has a name, it's all separate objects, and it's this and that is you, and that is me, and that is, you go on like this. So you have a whole world full of separate objects. There appears to be a space between you and everything. And this is not true in the first place, but this is the way that you perceive it. And don't tell me that you don't. So it's like you actually are continuously, as a human being, denying this I. I in the midst of me is mighty, is everything, is all power. There is no other power, we just read, and we just heard, we just felt. Like, there is no power outside yourself. And see what we do. We create a world with all kinds of so-called powers that can never be. So that it must coming from you. It must be coming from you. It must be a projection of your thoughts. But it has no power whatsoever. See, and this is actually a huge part of the undoing that takes place in your awakening. Like the undoing of everything that you gave power while it doesn't have any. And so the part that you see with your senses is, and that you say that is that name, that has that name, that is my family, and this is my neighbor, and that is the president, and that is who knows what. is then your, say it's literally you are dividing that all up into separate parts and giving them power. So now in this awakening, it's more like an undoing. Everything is coming back to, no, that's not it. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. No, it can't be that. Like, no, God is not in the earthquake. God is not in this, say, plane crash. No, God is not in that accident. No, God is not, like, no, none of that. There's no power in that. It is like a representation of an idea that you could be separate from everything that is. So it's like a nightmare. You have an abandonment going on. You seem to be separate from your creator. And all kinds of things happen to you and he doesn't even seem to be there. So now in our churches that we had, this was one of the things that happened to me while reading about the I. It's like one of the things that happened is this in the Christian mystical tradition, but also in the Christian churches, you have certain sacraments that you fulfill. So you go, you prepare yourself, you go through the procedure, and then you're that. You're part of the church, or you're baptized, or you're this or that. Like something happened with you, but it is a symbol. It is not a real experience. It is a symbol, and you can have, of course, an experience, but it's different. So in the say mystical traditions, there was such thing as an initiation. And that is also, like, when you look at it from a human perspective, a very mysterious things. Like, it has brought up a lot of association with an idea of it's misty, it's maybe dangerous, maybe this, maybe that. See, and the most of all, that everything returns back to your experience right now is then, no, this has everything to do with you. So this I has everything to do with you. You can also call it self. You know, it's like, it's self. It's from within, your calling, your say you're literally responding to it by listening to this, by being part of this moment together. You actually have listened to it. Otherwise you would not be here to have this remembrance going on. Because one thing for sure is that the I is singular. So there's not many I's. No, I is one, is whole, is perfect, is completely connected. But connected to what? To itself. So that is an interesting idea. And also it's an invitation to say an infinite amplitude, in which you actually hear what that means. It's like it is infinitely connected to itself, and it has no degrees, it has no say space, it has no time. It is absolutely present here now and nowhere, like nowhere else, because there is nowhere else. So that is, if you hear that, you can immediately go into the experience of it, because that is what happens. So some call it like a holy instant. It's like a sudden moment, a sudden shift into vertical perception. Suddenly you literally dive into the I, yourself, with a capital S, yourself. And you know that it is there, and you know it's perfect, because you hold ideas about perfection in your mind. You know when something is off, and you know when you are experiencing perfection. So that is a real beautiful. It is not a topic. It's like we're actually dealing with the essence of you. That's why it's so. It's not explainable. So where do I start with this? And yeah, that's, I don't know. So it's, what can you hear about this? What it's funny to funny. It's interesting to see how Joel deals with this, because it is not explainable. It's like there's nothing to fear. Well, say that to a human being. It's like there's nothing to fear. There are no powers outside of you. You're one and whole and perfect. And so, and you're communicating with every aspect of creation. And you don't have to do anything for that. It is what it is. Well, that's not acceptable to you, is it? It's like you won't accept this. You try to not get this because your whole world will collapse. It's based on the denial of this. So what am I going to do? So how can one receive this? So, and then Joel comes up with some, in some videos, in some talks, he will talk about the transformation of consciousness. It's like then the mind needs to be transformed. So the consciousness is perfect, but the mind needs to be transformed, right? So if you believe that you're a human being, a natural man, as it says in the Bible, it's like natural man needs to become some kind of way and spiritual man. So here I come in with another part of the mystical tradition and mystical initiation in the traditions, which is, for instance, like I read this afternoon something about the Rosicrucians, like Rosicrucians. So Joel talks about it a lot too, and he actually had some of his say essays published in the Reader's Digest of Rosicrucians. And so that is not completely out of line with the Infinite Way teaching, apparently, but let's keep that for now. And what it says to me was this, is that in one of the chapters there, they are actually sharing about the alchemy. Like the tradition of initiation is like alchemy, you know, turning whatever into gold. But then on a human way, turning a human being into a spiritual man. Like if that isn't alchemy, then what is? So you see in the parenthesis, Joel talks about the alchemy too. I read some praise of that the other day. So the idea of alchemy then becomes actually not so difficult to grasp, because it is more like an incredible, like celestial speed up. If you would evolve slowly but certainly to a spiritual man, well, I don't know how that is for you, but if I look at the news or if I open up a news channel, I see that humanhood, it might take a moment for it to naturally flow into spiritual man. Of course, there's such thing as a miracle, and it can happen today. That would be lovely. And of course, there's a lot changing. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But the alchemy that I'm talking about is the celestial speed up of the transformation of natural man into spiritual man. And I'm not talking about humanhood. I'm not talking about lots of people or anything like that. No, I'm actually, say, limiting myself to you, because it starts with you. So nobody else needs to hear this. It is about you. You know, it's like if you receive this, this is going to be your celestial speed up to awakening. So you undergo a procedure of alchemy, if you want. You are literally being initiated into this, not by your doing, because you're not able to do that yourself. So you receive the help to undergo this in safe hands by meditation, by training your mind in a way that you allow this undoing to happen to you. So that's that's a huge process. Even though you don't have to do anything, you undergo a lot. And so that, yeah, that's great to see that, and to see that at work, and to undergo that. You know, so this is the invitation to it, and it is the moments that we're together, whether it's in the Awakening Intensive, or whether it's in the meeting in the tape group, or in the Quantum Body group, or in the Instrument of Truth class, it really does not matter. In fact, everything is dedicated to that, to speed up the process of awakening. And why in a hurry? Why are we in a hurry? Well, we're not in a hurry. In eternity, there's no time, so there's no rush. Absolutely not. So it's not that you have to push yourself or anything, not at all. But it is for you, say, the time that you are, say, becoming free of your, pain, disease, disaster, frame of reference. The release of that will take place as soon as this is happening to you, say, in a total way. So that is so great. You know, that's why there's an urgency. You might feel that urgency to become, say, to put down the toys of fear and pain and disease, disaster and death. You want to put those toys away. Like, you're grown up now. You don't need those toys to play with anymore. No, there's something else going on. And it gives you everything that you have been looking for in your human life. And it's presented to you in a way that is absolutely fear-free, gives you everything. So that is the beauty of the, say, the alchemy of awakening. And that's why we're not in a hurry. Like, there's no need to rush or to push yourself through something and put yourself straight into fear. No. So there's a perfect plan. That plan is already arranged for you. It is working. And it works with you on a daily basis. One day at a time, just for now. And this is what we practiced in the meditation too. It's like, stay right here, be not afraid, relax into this, allow this to affect you, settle down, allow this undoing, allow this change. And so that's clear. I repeated myself a couple of times now, so I might as well stop now. So anyway, so I would love to listen with you, and we do that in a moment. I don't know how I'm doing in time. Yeah, it's always about the same time that I check out the time. It's like perfect. Okay, wonderful. So we have a 5-minute break now, in which it's not really a break, because I'm going to play some really great music that one of us gave to us. And so enjoy that and dance on it if you feel like it. Or be yourself, and if you need to take a break, in whatever form, go ahead and do it. So thank you so much for joining me in this.